Well, greetings and hello there, everybody. It's me, your beloved Star Wars Dad Nooch Too Good, and yes, I'm here today to express some regrets on my free-to-play roster and decision that one specific decision that I made, and kind of talk about where the game's going right now. We all know where the game's going right now, and some things that are coming up in the game as far as Relic Delta and relics being more available. But this week, you know, I wouldn't call it an impetuous decision. I wouldn't call it a decision that was made without any goals in mind. You know, we're pushing our way toward Executor. We're trying to, you know, get that early game fleet up and running on our accounts. We can start earning daily crystals on our free-to-play account as soon as possible. But I took Piett. I took Admiral Piett from Gear 12 to Relic 4 this week. And I regret it. I regret it. I actually don't think that I should have, I don't think I should have done this. In hindsight, you know, I'm looking at it, and a couple things are in my brain, right? Like, I want to perform better in the Rebel Roundup Assault Battle where I'm using my Imperial Troopers, and a Relic Piett will also help my Imperial Troopers perform better in Grand Arena and other game modes as well, right? Because he's going to go even faster. He adds a bunch of speed at Relic. I got him at 321. That's a pretty, for an early game roster, I mean, that's a pretty fast Admiral Piett right there. Admiral Piett going first with the Imperial Troopers allows a lot of things to happen. You add a bunch of speed when you take them to Relic, etc., etc., etc. But in the broad scope of things, and going forward here in the near future, because I'm getting this roster ready for Executor in the next 2 to 3 months-ish, I'm going to actually hold off on relicking any more characters on this roster, and it may give me nothing. I may come out for the next 2 months and just have no updates to talk about on this roster. Like, okay, guys, I didn't update anybody in this roster. I didn't gear up anybody in this roster. I didn't make any changes because they made that announcement recently. Let me go look up that announcement here. Now, here we are at the announcement, so before I jump into that, let's take a look at this. Soon. Kit reveal for the Stranger soon. When is soon? We don't know. That's pretty good. That's a pretty good little, I like this guy. I liked him in The Good Place, by the way, better than the Acolyte. I mean, he's fine, the Acolyte, but I kind of knew he was something real from the beginning. Like, they didn't fool anybody with this guy bumbling around, right? Anyway, soon. We'll have a Kit update soon. Kit reveal soon. Let's talk about this update here. That it's the talk of the town. Everybody's talking about it. Why Relic Delta? And then this statement: you'll be progressing through gear tiers and lower relic levels without you needing to use gear or relic materials, which frees up those resources to be spent on older characters. They also mentioned in this update that they're going to change how we get and invest in new characters, and there'll be more relic materials available in the game in the future. And so when we look at that, what do I think is the impact of taking a character to Relic in Star Wars Galaxy Heroes right now? While it does positively impact my roster, while it does positively impact my ability to perform in the game by having a really important character for the early game, Relic at Relic 4 and maybe Relic 5, 6, 7. I have to get him to 8 regardless. If they are going to change the availability of relic materials and the way that we relic characters in a meaningful way here sometime in November or December, we don't know dates yet, but sometime in that date range, I think I should just be holding off. And I talked about it. By the way, I even come out and said you shouldn't be relicking or upgrading your like I have a whole video about that. In fact, it's one of my most viewed videos in the last month or so is me just saying nobody should be upgrading their roster right now. And I come out and take Admiral Piett to Relic 4. So I absolutely regret this decision. And on my roster going forward, working for the Executor, we've got Dengar at Gear 12. We have IG-88 at Gear 12. I got Boba Fett at Gear 11. Cad Bane's over there at Gear 10. Darth Vader needs to be upgraded. TIE Fighter Pilot needs to be upgraded. Those are my upgrades that I'll need, and I've got to get Beskar Mando unlocked, so I'm working on those, Cara Dune, Queel, IG-11. Yeah, they're IG-11, getting those guys unlocked too. So I'm going to hold off on all... I'm gonna hold off on all gear upgrades, guys. I mean, I don't want to be going and upgrading gear and purchasing gear. Now, it may come to a point where I'm actually too full of like this kind of gear. If we go to the episode shop, because the question really becomes, what should I be upgrading and working on in the meantime if I'm not going to be upgrading my roster, right? Well, I'm going to keep an eye on these material levels. What do we call these? Mark 1, these tokens levels, because they've got a max on them, right? So right now I'm at like not like 40% of that. I'm at less than half of this, and I'm at, you're not even close on that one. If it looks like I'm going to go over the max, I need to go spend some of these, right? But I don't know if these are going to get cheaper. I don't think these are going to get cheaper, but they might be applied in a different way in the game. So wherever I can not spend this stuff on gear, or this stuff on gear, or whatever, this stuff on gear, etc., I'm going to not spend it on gear. I'll be honest, no cap, guys. I'm not sure that the gear economy for the characters I am farming is going to change in any substantial way. So when, you know, they say that the old character farming, the new characters, you won't need the gear so that you can use that gear in the old characters. So I'm looking at Dengar, IG. These are all old characters in the game, right? So when I look at upgrading those old characters, I think the gear is going to stay the same for the gear upgrades at lower levels, but it's not clear that it's going to be exactly the same. And what I don't want to do is sacrifice a bunch of efficiency to get these upgrades now when they really aren't super duper benefiting me, because I don't even have the ships at 7 stars yet, right? I'm not even ready to get, I'm a couple months away on all these ships from getting ready for the Executor. So while the Executor is my current big farm, I regret taking Piett to relic levels, even if it helps get me through Rebel Roundup Challenge Tier 2, which I think it might. It might. I might have played a few times, but if I can get them targeting Piett while he's relic, that might do it for me. I'm going to hold off on any more relic levels or gear upgrades or anything else, except that I think the time you could do those is when you're farming a character that you're going to definitely need to have. Cara Dune, Queel, IG-11, Mando, and Grief Karga. You got to have them at gear 9-ish to get the Beskar Mando event done. I'll get those guys upgraded. I'll take them to gear 9. It'll be okay. I'll survive if that one, because those characters don't really fit in a lot of places. Maybe Mando and Grief, although I don't want to relic them at this point of the game, because I don't want to relic them at this point of the game. So I will gear those guys up to get the Beskar Mando event done. But other than that, I'm going to be in a hoarding mode for somewhere around two-ish months until they announce all these upgrades and all the relic delta and the new ways to gear characters are announced and unveiled in the game, because I really want to see what that consists of before I spend a bunch of gear and lose a bunch of efficiency and sacrifice a bunch of gear that I might have otherwise kept. So that's where I am. That's my regret. We're going to hold off. I'll have to find other things to update you on with this account. Maybe I'll update you on how far I'm getting as far as hoarding. Like, how much have I hoarded? How much have I hoarded this week? Brr, 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 brr. I don't know if that'll be interesting or not, but we're going to do it. Oh, I think you could also go about adding Zetas and Omicrons. That stuff, it doesn't like that economy is going to change at all. Well, I think I'm going to have something to say tomorrow about how Relic Delta may impact how we farm the game, and I think that's going to be really important to talk about and be prepared for. And this is not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about like targeting characters and where we're going to go from there. So I think that'll be a topic for tomorrow. But that's all I got for today. It's pretty simple. I regret relicking Admiral Piett. I'm not going to relic and gear up anything else except for the BAM requirements here on my path to Executor. Let me know about your roster. Maybe you're not being as conservative or as worried about it as I am. It eats away at me, especially free to play, if I'm not as efficient as I possibly could be within the confines of living my life in a very real way as well. Like I don't go to the bathroom during dinners anymore to play Fleet Arena like I used to at different points in my life. I can just accept that some days I'm not gonna, max out Fleet Arena. So there you go, boys and girls. That's what I got. Let me know if you've got any regrets or maybe what you're holding on to or regrets possibly in the game. I will talk to everybody very soon. Have a good day. Always remember, Nooch too good.